Hello and welcome to my channel. The options for today's pick a card reading are the flamingo, the seahorse, the little kitty cat, and the scales for Libra. I'm going to begin now with option 1. Hello, option 1. This is for those of you who chose the flamingo. The cards here are number 8, Tears for Innocence, the King of Cups, the Hanged Man, Strength, the 3 of Coins, the Emperor, and the Fool. And the charms are a music note that has a skull on it, follow an elephant with a raised trunk, a leaf, the sign of Sagittarius, a rabbit holding 4 cards, 4 aces, the tree of life, and a butterfly. And I feel like this is very appropriate that I'm doing this reading on Father's Day, because this energy here indicates to me that some kind of toxic masculine patterns, probably stemming from your father or other masculine figures in your childhood. Those memories and bad patterns are following you into the present. And that's part of the underlying reason why you feel so sour. With this Emperor card and the Mad Hatter on this King of Cups, it makes me think that this person was controlling and or kind of crazy. And with this rabbit with the cards, it makes me feel like, and the Strength card, it makes me feel like you had to be very strong and just play the hand that was dealt you. And you've just been pushing forward as best you could. But there's still that heaviness in you that's weighing you down. And it may be a subconscious thing. You may feel like you're fine a lot of the time. But there's still some baggage and stuff that you need to drop, get rid of. The flamingo charm often means transition to me. And so I think right now you're going through a transitional phase. Becoming this butterfly, or maybe you just became this butterfly and you're getting ready to spread your wings. But with this treble clef charm with the skull on it, I think there's the same old song is following you around and haunting you. And you need to take some time to see what it is that's under the surface. Stop pushing forward for a minute and reflect. And see what's causing you to feel heavy. With this elephant with the raised trunk, I think that this will be something that you can handle without a whole lot of problems. It's something you got to actually turn around and deal with for a minute before you move forward. Okay, I'm going to pull a few cards from a chakra wisdom tarot deck, and we'll see what kind of advice. Okay, we've got the Knight of Cups, the Nine of Wands, and the Princess of Cups. Alright, the blue corresponds to the throat chakra, and with the Knight of Cups, it makes me think that you need to speak your truth, even if it's just to yourself in a journal, so that you can help clear any throat chakra blockages. And the Nine of Wands, with the orange, represents the sacral chakra. You may be still feeling defensive and wounded because of whatever occurred, and what may be continuing to occur as a bad pattern, where either you expect things to go wrong even when they're going right, or you're seeking out these bad patterns in the present as a way of trying to work through the bad patterns you had to put up with earlier in life. And you need to clear that subconscious pattern and get out of this defensive energy to help your sacral chakra, which will help you to be more creative and make it easier for you to connect, especially in a romantic sense. And then this Princess of Cups is your heart chakra with the green. Excuse me. This is coins. Well, green is usually the heart chakra, so I guess that's why I thought it was cups. Now this makes me think that your soft heart may actually help you with your finances too. And that's why the mistake and why the green for this card. Well, she's holding this pentacle. A set of experiences with negative masculine energy may have made it harder for you to be soft and made you think it was a bad thing to be soft, when actually a good soft heart with proper boundaries is an amazing and beautiful thing. And it can also be a source of your creativity. And combined with this card that's from the sacral chakra, which is about creativity also, I think that you will have greater abundance. Financially, emotionally, on all levels, once you deal with this issue that's still wandering around in your subconscious or just below the surface and making you feel sour. You will feel better once you figure out how to move past whatever this negative masculine energy and those memories are doing to you. Okay, I think that's all for option 1. I'm going to move on now to option 2. Hello, option 2. You chose the seahorse. Okay, for those of you who chose the seahorse, the first card is number 33, Second Journey, the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the Devil, Seven of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the charms are a moon with a little black star on it, the letter A, sign of Gemini, the white rabbit holding a clock in his hand, a pocket watch in his hand, a cowboy hat, and a flower. Now this first card, number 33, is called The Second Journey, and it's about someone who needs to stop overgiving and start prioritizing themselves. With this Queen of Cups, I'm guessing you've given a lot to other people. Another thing about the second journey card is it talks about taking on the burdens of others. And the thing about a seahorse is, the male is the one who carries the babies for the female. He takes on her fertilized eggs and carries them, which in any other species would be unnatural. So I think with that and this Devil card that you've been taking on quite a lot and feeling obligated to carry things that are not yours to carry. And now you're looking back with the Seven of Pentacles. It's a card of assessing where you are and what you've accomplished up to the present. And I'd say that you're feeling sour because you're feeling resentful for all that you have done for others when they weren't doing much for you. With this cowboy hat, I think you kept it all under your hat, so to speak, and just kept going. Helped other people reach their Ten of Pentacles. And then with the Seven of Swords, you got the shaft. And they didn't appreciate you. Or maybe you built up something with someone specifically, like a spouse. And then in the end, they decided to trade you in for a different model. Obviously, there would be a lot of resentment there. And now you're having to pick up the pieces, find your own inspiration, and move forward in a different way. You're having to start a new journey, a second journey, a new version of this life. And with this rabbit with the pocket watch, well, the rabbit used to say, I'm late for a very important date. And it seems like you're late even, or it's about time that it was about you. Your life was about you instead of somebody else or everybody else. And with this flower, I think that once you move past this resentment, break these ties to whoever has been draining you, you will start to bloom. And you will find that this second version of life is actually better than the first. Now that you're following your own inspiration and doing what you really want to do. I'm going to pull a few more cards from the Chakra Wisdom Tarot to get some more advice for you. Okay, I don't normally have reversals in my decks, but the King of Swords came out reversed. Then we have the King of Coins upright, both purple, which both represent the the seventh chakra, which is about your spirituality. Can also be talking about being in your head, which is what made this King of Swords. I think someone got into your head and manipulated you. This King of Coins, they probably have some kind of hold over your physical reality, or did for a while. And then the last one is red, and it's the Temperance card. The situation was not balanced, and now things are returning to balance, where you are going to be in a situation where you receive and not just give. And with this red, it indicates to me that your root chakra may be a little out of balance. You may not be used to receiving, and that's a block you may need to clear there. You may not feel safe with giving and receiving right now. You may feel a bit kind of closed off because you've been through some stuff. And it's time that you poured into your own cup and alchemized this situation and cleared the mental clutter as best you can, so that you can move forward into the world and into your new version of life, where you're the center of your life and not everyone else. And that will help you clear this bitter feeling that you have. When you can clear away the defensiveness and the lack of trust that you have in the world right now, because people have let you down and manipulated you and used you. Time to take good care of yourself. Alright, I think that's all for option 2. I'm going to move on now to option 3. Hello, option 3. You chose the little kitty cat. The cards for this reading are number 23, Yorick's Bride, which is about endings and beginnings. Justice, Seven of Swords, the Sun, the Queen of Coins, the Knight of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the charms are a stylized tree of life, the word friend, a little birdhouse, and a charm that is a key that has a rabbit on it. But this rabbit kept wanting to be face down. Every time I would try to turn it face up, it would fall back over face down. Now, with the Justice and the Seven of Swords and then the Sun, I think that something shady happened. And with Justice and the Sun and the Nine of Cups, I think that you're getting back what's due to you. And either you know this, but it hasn't arrived yet, or it has arrived, but you're feeling dissatisfied with it somehow, when you should be happy. And I think it's because of the memory still lingering. You haven't found closure yet. And there are some things that you still have to do. With this key, it's like you have the key, but you keep turning away from it. You have the key to making yourself feel better about whatever this is that happened. But you just don't want to face whatever it is long enough to use that key. And I think therein lies your problem. Until you actually face the aftermath and face the wounding that you have suffered, it's going to continue to eat at you. And that's why you still feel sour, even though things have improved or are supposed to improve. Alright, I'm going to pull a few chakra wisdom tarot cards and see what else you should know about the situation, how best to proceed. Okay, we have the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. Okay, with the Eight of Cups, it makes me feel like you need to be walking away from the situation. The thing is, it's as though, even though the situation is over, you haven't walked away from it yet. Or maybe there's still you're still in the environment that it happened in, and you may need a change of environment. This is a red card, which is about the root chakra. You may not feel safe in that environment because of whatever happened. And you will not feel good in your environment until you've made a change. You're going to continue to be uncomfortable. If you can't actually leave the environment or don't want to leave that environment, you may need to change some things around so that it is not a reminder of whatever bad things have happened. With this Knight of Cups, the blue indicates the throat chakra. You may need to journal or do some other thing to sort of speak your truth so that you can clear your energy in that way. And with the Ten of Wands and the yellow, that's your solar plexus chakra. And that's all about your will and moving forward and doing things, planning things. This Ten of Wands represents being overburdened. And whatever this probably leveled you, wore you out completely. It felt extremely heavy, and in some ways it probably still does feel very heavy, even though the main situation may be over. You need to let go of the weight of the situation and free yourself so that you can think about what you want to do going forward and things like that. I think right now you're just exhausted You're too tired to feel happy about all this. You need to do what you can to let this go, which is obviously going to be a process. But it's a process that's worth going through, and it'll help you feel better in the long run. All right, I think that's all for option 3. I'm going to move on now to option 4. Hello, option 4. You chose the Libra scales. And you chose, let's see, card number 15 here is Autumn Virtuoso, followed by the 7 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, the Empress, the Moon, the 7 of Wands again, the word sing, a treble clef, a golden elephant with an upraised trunk, which is a symbol of good fortune, and a flower. Now the Autumn Virtuoso card is about someone who is not pursuing their creative talents for whatever reason. Usually life is getting in the way in some form or fashion. And with the 7 of Wands card twice, it makes me feel like you're having to defend your desire to do creative things. Maybe you have a dream or a passion that you want to pursue, but it feels either like you can't defend that choice because it doesn't seem practical, or other people are telling you you can't do it, or that you shouldn't do it now because you don't have the resources or whatever to be doing that right now. And the reason you're feeling sour is because you're not indulging in your creative side, or at least not as much as you should be. With this Empress card, the Empress is about creating abundance. And then the Moon is obscure, something that's usually obscured. It also deals with primal instincts. And I think your instincts are telling you that this creative endeavor, this passion, whatever it is something that could be fruitful for you in some way. And you keep having to defend this belief with no real evidence in the present. And that's very difficult. And it's making you feel sour. The world is getting in the way. But if you don't pursue your creative endeavors in some way, it's just going to continue to bug you and make you resentful. And so with this Libra scales, I think you need to find some sort of balance between the two. You still need to take care of your bills and other responsibilities, but at the same time, you need to indulge your soul as well. And you're not going to be happy unless you are expressing yourself creatively. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 Chakra Wisdom Tarot cards to help you with advice. We have the 6 of Coins, the 8 of Wands, and the High Priestess. Now the Six of Coins, with everybody with their hand out, makes me feel like that you have too many people demanding too much of you at this point in time. And with this blue color, the blue chakra, I think you need to be vocal about what you can and cannot afford to give. You need to let people know what's what. Maybe don't tell them everything with this High Priestess card. The High Priestess usually keeps most things to herself. So I think it's time that you kept more of your energy and resources for your own self and took care of your creativity and your passions and not just what everybody else wants. With this Eight of Wands, I think you need to do this pretty quick. It's a card of fast movement. And I think that once you do turn your back on a lot of these demands that you really don't need to be fulfilling, it'll help you move forward into a happier state. And less of this lack mentality that you see in the Five of Pentacles. And with the High Priestess, and it being a yellow card, which is about your will, your plans, things of that nature, I'd say don't talk too much about what you're trying to achieve. A lot of people will not hold the same vision that you do. They may not understand or may try to sabotage you. But you can see what others cannot. And you know what you can and cannot do. In your heart of hearts, you know what you're capable of. And you're capable of a lot more than what you're doing now. As far as your creative projects. You're expending too much energy on mundane things and other people's demands. It's time you took a little time for yourself, but in a way that's in balance with the things that you really do need to take care of. And that'll help you to thrive and bloom, and it may even be lucrative. Alright, I think that's all for option 4. Hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye for now.